morning, saints. We just went through observed well, today I want to speak on Hol-I-Days. I spoke on them before, and since we just had one, it's called Labor Day. Thought I'd speak on them again. Hol-I-Days that God set apart back in the old times were for a purpose and reason. Man's Hol-I-Days, and it's Hol-I-Days. Let's look at them. First one off the bat is New Year's Day. Then we have Martin Luther King Jr. Day. This Inauguration Day. These are all federal holidays. This is what the U.S., this is what our government has set up as a holy day. A day set apart to observe. President's Day, Memorial Day, day off for the Juneteenth. I don't even know what that one is. Independence Day, Labor Day, Columbus Day, Veterans Day, Thanksgiving Day, Christmas Day, day off for Christmas, Christmas Day, and day off for New Year's. Now, those are just the basic federal holidays, holy days that our government has set up for an observance for a reason and purpose. But I want you to look at something. Each one of these days that I just mentioned is not really a day of observance as it was set aside to be. What these days have become is a day for flesh to be fed. Now listen, because what do we see tagged with each one of these days? A sale. You deserve this. You earned it. Here, buy it. A sale. These are no longer days, really. I mean, let's be for real, saints, and let's get off the foolishness. First of all, if you really looked at the truth, if you really looked at our history on this day that's called Thanksgiving, you wouldn't have anything to do with it. You wouldn't have anything to do with it. So, but each day has a day, and actually it's a build up, it's a sale building up to a sale. Most of them. Oh yeah. It's a sale building up to a sale after that day. And brothers and sisters, we grow up in this society. To where, say the 4th of July, cause that used to be my favorite holiday. I'm gonna tell you, boy, I couldn't wait to go out and buy $200-300 worth of fireworks. Oh yeah, and I wanted the big things. Yeah, I want to put on a show. Yeah, I want everybody over, and we gonna have cookout hamburgers and hot dogs, and have kids have lemonade and soda pops. We'd have our whiskey in the freezer, and sucking down the beers, and it was a day. Now, was come on, was we as a group observing this thing called the 4th of July Independence Day. No, heck no. We were feeding our flesh. That was just an excuse to do it. Veterans Day. Let me tell you something. Do you really? Is this really? Think about these days and what they're set up for. This is a day to observe and honor the veterans. But, what does the world do on this day? Oh, there's usually a big sale on this day. Columbus Day. For real? I mean, Columbus Day. And like I say, I don't understand this new one they got up here. Day off for Juneteenth. And Juneteenth is June the 19th. I don't understand that one. That's just, really, I don't know. President's Day. You might cannot stand the president because you're Republican, he's Democrat, you're Democrat, he's Republican, whatever. But this day is not about observing the president. What are we observing, really? President's Day, what are we observing? What is this up on? Memorial Day, Inauguration Day. And don't get me wrong, Martin Luther King Jr. was a good man. He was a good man. So, but all these days, we is just, and I'm gonna be straight up with you, it's just another snare of the devil. It's something to get your mind off God. Something to get your mind off the kingdom and focused on something else. And you can't tell me that don't happen. Let me ask you something. See, I remember back in my day how long I would plan for Thanksgiving, Christmas, 4th of July, New Year. My mind was not. So, we really need to be careful. Because I'm going to tell you, brothers and sisters, on our gospel, we got to remember in our gospel, we don't observe days. There's no special day in our gospel. Well, I take that back. There's one, Titus 2:13, watching for him to come back. But our gospel, we don't see that. Now, a lot of you will say, well, Brother Anthony, it says for those that honor days and all that. That's not talking about this. That's not talking about man's holy days. That's talking about the converted Israelites coming out of the Mosaic ways. And I'll even stretch it. I'll stretch it for you this morning. That's even a converted Gentile coming out of these days. But that don't mean that we should still be snared up in these days. We should come out of these days. What does it say about them converted Israelites that's coming out of Mosaic and they still have days to observe? He calls them weak. Weak. So if you stretch it into converted Gentiles coming out of these days, which I can go with that. Guess what? If you're observing these days, you're weak. Now the converted Israelites, they did it because they was honoring God. Not such as converted Gentiles honoring these days. See? I said I would stretch it for you a little bit, but I'm going to stop and show you that it's not the same. we can stretch it, and we can, and I can accept it. I can accept when you're a babe in Christ, you still celebrating Easter, 4th of July, Christmas, in President's Day, anything for a cookout. Anything for cookout, I'm for it anyway. But I can understand you coming out of them because you're still weak. But in the same, we must remember it's not the same as converted Israelites and converted Gentiles, because the converted Israelites were coming out of Mosaic law. Now, today, in this age, all these Israelites over there that's observing these holidays they got, they're doing them in mouth only. They're not doing them in heart like they're supposed to do anyway. So actually, they're not observing the days. Like I've said before, nobody nowadays, as an Israelite, is coming out of Mosaic law, the books of Moses. And if you really understood, they don't study the book of Moses really anymore. It's I don't know. It's something else. They've created unto themselves their own God. So let's get back on this. Brothers and sisters, this is one of the easiest things to get caught up in, is men's observances of their holy days. Their days set apart from others. That's a holy day. We call them holidays. Um, so like I said, I know this is one of them people that I speak, and and a lot of people just ignore it because it's, well, there's nothing wrong with the 4th of July, and there's nothing wrong with Easter, and there's nothing wrong with Christmas. Yes, there is. Yes, there is. And if you can't see it, then you do fall into the category of those converted Israelites that Paul calls weak brethren. So, hey, I love y'all. I'm always praying for you, and I'll see y'all next time around.